Well, sir, it's a few minutes past 10:30 o'clock in the evening as our scene opens now, and here in the living room of the small house halfway up in the next block, we find Mr. and Mrs. Victor Gook. Vic is established in his easy chair, reading with absorption Volume 7 of his lodge library. Sade occupies a corner of the Davenport, industriously darning socks. Silence has prevailed for a considerable length of time, but now it's broken.
Believe I'll go to bed.
What time is it?
Getting on for 11.
Really?
35 minutes past 10, anyway. I got a big day planned for tomorrow and need my rest.
What's on the docket for tomorrow?
This house. Been neglecting it lately. Dining room is the big issue. I bet there's dust 9 feet thick behind that buffet. You know, I wouldn't be surprised by what most housekeepers...
Listen.
What's the matter?
Heard the back door open.
Rush is out there.
Thought he hit the hay.
Said he was going to drink a glass of milk.
Uncle Fletcher just walked in.
Oh, well.
Fletcher?
Good evening, good evening.
Oh, my stars.
Good evening.
It's getting on for 11 o'clock. Dandy time to drop in for a visit.
Evening, Sadie.
Good evening, Uncle Fletcher. I'm tired.
Well, you can go to bed.
Got 8 bushels of work mapped out for in the morning.
Probably he's only stopping by a minute or two to say hello on his way home.
I hope so. Well...
I didn't know but what you people had retired. Saw lights burning in both the kitchen and the living room, though, so I figured everybody was still on deck.
We're on deck and feeling fine.
You're out late.
Yes, I'm out late. I'm out late, Sadie, and I'll tell you why. Gonna meet a train.
Oh, really?
At 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock this morning?
Gonna meet a train at 1 o'clock this morning. CNA Depot. Mrs. Trogle.
Mrs. Trogle?
Mrs. Alvy Trogle that lives in the 700 block on West Monroe Street. She's spending a day in Chicago. Her train don't get in until 1 o'clock. I saw Alvy earlier this evening, and he was bothered because he has to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do some special work at the shops and needs all the rest he can get. But don't like the idea of going to bed and letting his wife come home from the station all by herself so late at night. I said, thunder, Alvy, I'll meet the train. I'll look after the missus.
Well, that was nice of you.
Yes, it was.
1 o'clock's quite a long ways from now.
You're a good boy, Rush.
Thanks.
Rush mentioning just now it's quite a little while till 1 o'clock.
Rush is a good boy.
Yes, how do you plan to put in the time till the train arrives?
Put in the time. Well, thought I'd chat with you folks a little bit and then amble down to the station. 1 o'clock will roll around before I know it. Yes, that's the way it goes.
I've got to go to bed directly.
Go ahead.
How's that, Vic?
I was going to inquire about the big envelope you got there.
Oh, this. A few articles I dug out of my truck after supper this evening. Thought you folks would be interested.
More photographs and snapshots.
Oh, no, not more photographs.
Photographs and snapshots, Uncle Fletcher?
Christmas cards by George.
You're not selling them.
Fine. Here, I'll open my envelope.
You're not selling Christmas cards, are you, Uncle Fletcher?
Oh, no. These are old ones I dug up out of my trunk. Different than the kind people send nowadays. That Idie Rush here might enjoy looking at old-fashioned Christmas cards.
I would.
No, I'll put in the time all right till Mrs. Trogle's train pulls in. Be 1 o'clock before I know it.
I'm not going to stay up.
You don't have to.
Now, this is a Christmas card from James S. Dredge.
I'm going to bed.
Well, hop along.
Christmas card from James S. Dredge.
Very nice.
Says here, with best wishes for a happy holiday season to Edna, Gus, Arthur, and Bug-Eye. James S. Dredge.
A lot of lace work on that card.
Yes, indeed. Years ago, they put more lace work on Christmas cards than a horse. Who's Edna, Gus, Arthur, and Bug-Eye?
I don't know.
Well, here, Rush, you can have this Christmas card.
Say, thanks. I accept with pleasure.
No, now, keep it. It's yours. Paste it on the looking glass over your dresser.
Okay.
Sure.
Excuse yourself. I'm going up to bed.
I will in a second.
Christmas card by George from U.Q. Tuttle.
Angels made out of tinfoil pasted all over.
Angels made out of tinfoil pasted all over.
Very handsome card.
Who's U.Q. Tuttle?
I don't know.
Wishing Fletcher Rush a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year with fond memories of our jolly times together in Boone, Iowa. U.Q. Tuttle. Hey, I've never been in Boone, Iowa.
No, that's what you said the other day. You said
Never been in Boone, Iowa in my life. Been to Stanwood, been to Sioux City, been to Ottumwa, but never quite hit Boone. Some mistake here. Sadie, who's you cute, Tuttle?
Well, I haven't any idea. Say, Uncle Fletcher, if you don't mind, I
Says
think...
we had jolly times together in Boone. I never been in Boone.
Uncle Fletcher, would you mind if I excused myself and went upstairs? I'm very tired and feel like I ought to get...
Fine, uh-huh. No, I've never been in Boone.
Uncle Fletcher,
Yes, Sadie?
I think I better excuse myself and go to bed.
Sure, do that.
I'm just terrible tired.
You bet. Run right along.
I've got oceans of housework laid out for in the morning, and I think maybe it'd be best if
I understand just how it is. Don't blame you a bit. You run right along and hit the hay.
Oh, all right.
I'll tell Mrs. Trogel hello for you at the depot.
Yes, do that.
No, I've never been in Boone. Where's you cute Tuttle? Get that noise, I bet in Boone.
Couldn't say.
Must be some half-wit. Here, Rush.
Giving it to me?
Paste it on your looking glass.
Okay.
Well, good night, everybody.
Good night, Sade.
Don't you and Rush stay up all night.
Coming upstairs myself in a minute.
Night, Mom.
Night, Sonny. Good night, Uncle Fletcher.
This is a Christmas card from George Yeapley.
Good night, Uncle Fletcher.
George Yeapley's not a familiar name either. I don't recollect any George Yeapley.
Mom's telling you good night.
Who is?
Mom, she's telling you good night. She's going to bed.
Oh, good night, Sadie.
Good night. Come take supper with us soon. I'll telephone you later on in the week.
No, I never was acquainted with any George Yeapley. Knew a George Yipper and a George Wheatman, but no George Yeapley.
Night, Sade.
Night.
What you say, Vic?
Just tell and say good night.
Oh, night. Here,
Give me this one, too?
sure.
Thanks.
Say, Uncle Fletcher, I believe I'll desert the party also. I got a big day at the office tomorrow, and I think I
Sure,
must.
you bet. Trot right along.
I don't like to shirk my duties as a host.
Forget it. Rush, here's a Christmas card that must have cost 50 cents.
Really?
At least 50 cents. I don't know who sent it, by George. From Eleanor Sweeting, it says down here at the bottom, but I never was acquainted with any Eleanor Sweeting.
Huh.
Well, night, fellas.
Night,
Good night, Uncle Fletcher.
No, I never was acquainted with any Eleanor Sweeting. I remember when I received this card. It was 20 years ago.
Good night, Uncle Fletcher.
I was living in Belvedere at the time. Now, whether this young lady admired me from the sidelines or not, I
Gov's
can't...
telling you good night.
What?
Gov's telling you good night.
Oh, night, Vic.
Good night. You coming along shortly, Rex?
Yeah.
Oh, whether this young lady, Eleanor Sweeting, admired me from the sidelines or not, I couldn't say. She might have taken a shine to me and decided to send me a Christmas card under an assumed name, don't you see? Because I inquired around Belvedere there. I asked a lot of people. Know anybody in town here named Eleanor Sweeting, I'd say? But nobody placed the name.
Huh.
Either the young lady sent me this Christmas card under an assumed name, or else there actually was an Eleanor Sweeting, and she lived out in the country somewhere.
Huh.
Here.
Thanks.
Now, let's see what we got.
Mm.
Christmas card from Ed Nyergarth and Charlie Slime. Peculiar thing about this particular Christmas card, I know Ed Nyergarth like I know my own brother, but who under Charlie Slime is, I haven't the faintest idea. Ed Nyergarth and myself clerked together at Weber's grocery store on the city limits of Sterling, Illinois. Ed was a great hand for eating popcorn late at night. Popped his old popcorn, kept it in his bedroom. You like popcorn yourself pretty much, don't you, Rush? Ed and I, guys, would rather eat popcorn than apple pie. Well, popcorn's good. We agree on that, don't we? Rush? Rush? You asleep, Rush? Rush? Boy's asleep. To Fletcher Rush from August and Henrietta Fisherly. Who in thunder's August and Henrietta Fisherly?
Which concludes another brief interlude at the small house halfway up in the next block. Well, sir, the evening meal has been over only a little while as we enter the small house halfway up in the next block now. Young Rush Gook has lately departed to attend the first show at the Bijou Moving Picture Theater, leaving his parents to spend a restful season at home. Vic seems to have made an observation verging on the controversial, for we hear his wife saying with some emphasis,
I'm certainly not going to do any marching.
Well, no marching's required of you.
I don't even want to be involved. Better just leave me out altogether.
Well, heck, let me tell you what this is.
I'm busy enough without getting mixed up in your lodge stuff.
That remark sounds just a shade harsh, Sadie.
Person don't mean to sound harsh, of course, and I'm not belittling your lodge the least bit, but I got my own thing I belong to, Thimble Club, and I think you ought to keep your organization separate.
You're jumping at frightening conclusions without cause, kiddo. There's nothing alarming in the matter I'm trying to tell you about. You won't have to do any marching. You won't have to lift your little finger.
You mentioned something about me being on a marching team.
If you permit me, I'll explain. Will you permit me?
Go ahead. Seems like every other day some darn lodge trash comes along to upset a person.
There's no occasion for being upset in the present instance, Sadie.
All right.
This afternoon, I received a long-distance telephone call from H.K. Fleeber. That name is familiar, I trust.
Grovelman, South Carolina guy.
H.K. Fleeber is a Consolidated Kitchenware official of some importance. H.K. Fleeber is also an active and energetic worker in the sacred stars of the Milky Way.
He belongs to your all-star marching team. I appreciate who he is. What do you want, long distance?
You titter and guffaw. Why?
Oh, I don't know. Every time you come home with stuff about your lodge, it always turns out to be a headache.
In that case, perhaps it would be best to change the subject. How's old Lady Harris feeling these days? I hope the continued cold weather in no wise affects her health. I see by the
Oh,
paper...
go ahead. What did what's-his-name want, long distance?
What's his name?
H.K. Fleeber. Quit being so touchy.
Am I the touchy one? I no more than opened my mouth a minute ago when you jumped down my collar without letting me explain.
All right. H.K. Fleeber called up this afternoon.
Yes. He told me about a little idea he'd cooked up.
What was his little idea?
As you're aware, H.K. Fleeber, myself, and 8 other members of the Sacred Stars of the Milky Way were recently selected to make up the roster of an honorary organization known as the All-Star Marching Team.
Yes, I know all about that.
Do you?
All I've heard for the last month.
Then perhaps you can name me off the personnel of the All-Star Marching Team.
Could do it in my sleep.
Well, let's hear you.
Oh, lands.
No, go ahead. Let's hear you.
You and H.K. Fleeber.
2.
Robert and Slobbert Hink.
4.
Y. Flirch.
5.
K, somebody.
You refer to J. Stunbolt?
Yeah.
6.
Some man in Detroit.
What's his name?
Jellyman?
Bellyman. O.X. Bellyman.
How many's that?
7.
How many altogether?
10.
I guess those 7 are all I remember.
You said you could name them all off in your sleep.
Oh, well, lands.
I. Edson Box and Harry Fye of Lester, Nebraska. Homer U. McDancy of East Brain, Oregon.
Oh, sure, that McDancy gink.
So far, so good. Now, here's what H.K. Fleeber's little idea is. He feels it would be a fine, appropriate gesture if an organization to be known as the Ladies Auxiliary All-Star March...
I'm not going to march.
You don't have to march. Who said anything about your marching? Forget about marching.
Well, it certainly sounds...
Would you let a poor half-wit tell me what he's trying to tell?
Go ahead, but I'm not going to march.
Would you mind handing me the piece of newspaper there by your feet, Sadie? I have not as yet read the financial page.
Oh, tell what you want to tell. H.K. Fleeber's going to get up a ladies' auxiliary marching team. Who's going to be on it? Wives of you all-star fellows?
Yes.
Well?
Members of the Ladies' Auxiliary All-Star Marching Unit serve merely in an honorary capacity. An honorary capacity and nothing more. There will be no necessity for actual marching. Do you have that fact fixed in your mind now? Do you or don't you?
Yes. What next?
It is not altogether improbable that we 10 fellas, myself, H.K. Fleaver, Robert and Slabbert Hink, J.J.
I know.
Stumpa.
It's not altogether improbable that you 10 fellas do what?
Get together at some time or other.
Uh-huh.
In that event, H.K. Fleaver feels it would be nice to have the ladies' auxiliary in on the celebration.
Uh-huh.
He feels that if we could ever arrange to assemble for a banquet or a picnic or some such function, it would be most agreeable and charming for all concerned. Do you agree?
I suppose.
All right, then. That's what I had to tell and all I had to tell.
I never meant to be mean about it, Vic.
Perfectly all right.
I'm glad to get included in your nice lodge trash.
Think no more about it.
Some of your marching team fellows don't have wives, do they?
The majority of them don't have wives.
Well, the ladies' auxiliary won't be very large then, will it?
The full complement of members is to be reached in different ways.
How do you mean?
Well, H.K. Fleaver wants 10 ladies in the group. Since there aren't 10 wives, he plans to augment the roster by having the various fellows provide other persons.
Oh?
As it happens, only 4 guys on the all-star marching team are married men.
You and H.K. Fleaver and who else?
I, Edson Box, and Harry Fye.
Oh.
Leave 6 lugs who have to provide substitutes.
Substitutes?
Yes, to make up a quota of 10 ladies. O.X. Bellarmine of Detroit, Michigan, for instance, has a sister.
Oh.
His sister will be offered membership in the ladies' auxiliary.
Uh-huh.
Homer U. McDancy of East Brain, Oregon, has only one female relative, his grandmother.
Grandmother?
Yes. Probably she'll be offered membership in the ladies' auxiliary.
How old is Homer U. McDancy?
47.
His grandma, then, must be a pretty elderly lady.
In her 90s, I believe, but very active and healthy.
I don't imagine she'll want to march much.
Sade, how many times must I tell you there's to be no marching?
Well, ladies' auxiliary marching team. Sticks in a person's noodle, there's marching in connection. How about Larry Pye and O. Epson Fox?
Harry Fye and I, Edson Bach.
Yeah. What ladies they gonna supply?
Harry Fye plans to be married early in the year 1948. His fiancée, a Miss Gilly McDermott, will represent him on the ladies' auxiliary.
I, Bedson Knox?
I, Edson Box.
How about him?
I, Edson Box, has a grown daughter by a previous marriage. I understand her name is to be submitted for membership.
Gonna be kind of a mixed-up outfit.
In what way?
I mean, when we all get together for this dandy picnic, we'll have wives and sisters and sweethearts and grandmothers and daughters and everything else.
I see no objections to such an assemblage.
I
wonder if you'd kindly hand me that piece of newspaper there by your foot. I've not as yet read the financial page.
Hey, how about Robert and Slabbert Hink?
Robert and Slabbert Hink?
Uh-huh.
H.K. Fleaver advised me this afternoon that, being only slightly acquainted around Hoopson, they're unable to provide anybody except their landlady.
Their landlady?
Yes.
Ah!
Is that funny?
Yeah.
Very well. It is funny.
Is this landlady going to represent Robert and Slabbert both?
She will represent Robert. Slabbert will be represented by a cousin of the landlady's now living in China.
China?
An oriental nation far across the sea.
She won't be able to attend many of our jolly picnics. Oh, no, but actually, I think H.K. Fleaver's Ladies Auxiliary Marching Team is a terrible bunch of trash. O.X. Bellarmine's sister, and Homer U. McDancy's grandmother, Harry Fye's sweetheart, I. Epson Fox's daughter, Robert Hink's landlady, Slabbert Hink's landlady's cousin in China. Seems to me when we spread our picnic lunch out on the grass and everybody helps herself to a sandwich, it'll be like some crowd of mixed up...
That's enough, Sadie. Just forget the whole thing.
Well, one sure thing. I'm not going to march.
Sadie.
What?
Kindly hand me that piece of newspaper there by your foot. I have not as yet read the financial page.
Which concludes another brief interlude at the small house halfway up in the next block. And now get ready to smile again with radio's home folks, Crisco's Vic and Sade. But first, ladies, we're happy to bring you the grand prize winner in Crisco's first double cash contest. Yes, it's Mrs. Henry W. Bowers of Hales Corners, Wisconsin. Mrs. Bowers is in Chicago right now waiting to speak to us. So go ahead, Chicago.
Okay, New York. And ladies, here is Mrs. Henry Bowers, the happy winner of the grand cash prize.
I just wish I could tell you how happy and excited I am. I still can't believe I won $5,000 cash.
Well, now look here, tell us, what are you going to do with all that extra money?
Really, I'm still too much in a daze to know. There are so many things any woman could do with $5,000.
Isn't that right? And did you really think that you might win when you entered Crisco's first contest?
Well, I hoped so. I sent in 5 entries, and I've already sent in 2 for Crisco's second contest.
Oh, that's the spirit. And aren't you mighty glad that you took advantage of the doubling feature in Crisco's contest?
Oh, yes. It doubled my $2,500 prize to $5,000.
Tell me, did you use the official contest blanks?
No, I asked my grocer for them, but so many of the ladies had gotten there before me, he was all out. So I got him to sign his name and address on my entries to be sure I'd double any prize I won.
And have you ever won a big prize before?
No, this is the first time, and I'm surprised how easy it was. And I hope every woman listening today will surely enter Crisco's final contest. Everybody has the same opportunity to win as I did.
Well, thank you for being with us, Mrs. Bowers, and our heartiest congratulations to you. And now, New York, take it away.
Okay, Chicago, and congratulations again, Mrs. Henry Bowers. And now, ladies, remember, Crisco's final double cash contest closes this Saturday. Besides that top prize of $2,500, there's 25 other prizes of $100 and 100 prizes of $10. 126 prizes. And you can double any prize you win by submitting your entries on official blanks that carry the complete rules and are available only at your Crisco dealers. Or write your entries on plain pieces of paper and get your dealer to sign his name and address on each entry. Now, to enter, write the 5th line to a jingle that's on those official blanks. Here's the first 4 lines. For cakes, pies, and frying each day, most any wise housewife will say... For cakes, pies, and frying each day, most any wise housewife will say, use Crisco, it's sure, so creamy and pure. Use Crisco, it's sure, so creamy and pure. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, you add the last line, maybe like this, and your meals get a hearty okay. Just be sure your last line ends in a word rhyming with day. With each last line, make your name, address, and a Crisco label, any size or facsimile. Address Vic and Sade, Cincinnati, Ohio. This contest is open to residents of the United States and Canada. Entries will be judged solely on originality, suitability, and aptness. Decision of the judges is final, and duplicate prizes will be awarded in case of ties. So get your entries in today. Win and double your winnings in Crisco's Double Cash Contest. Sir, it's late afternoon as we enter the small house halfway up in the next block now, and here in the living room we find Mr. Victor Gook and Mr. Rush Gook. Father and son are seated on opposite sides of the library table, competing in a somewhat sluggish game of rummy. Listen.
I guess cards run in streaks. By George, last time we played, I got dealt spread after spread after spread. This afternoon, my pasteboards are rotten as a horse. How the heck can an individual win a game when luck is against him? What's the matter?
Nothing. I thought I heard a noise in the kitchen.
What'd you lunge for?
It wasn't where I lunged.
Almost jumped out of your chair.
Why don't you this card?
Here you are. 8 of diamonds. You know, rummy tickets run in streaks. I haven't been dealt a decent hand since we sat down. Rooster Davis's big brother Rotten's got a theory on that topic. Rooster Davis's big brother Rotten's figured it out. Hey, what are you so nervous about?
Is that your mother?
Did you hear
Are you
something?
okay, Joe?
Yes?
It's your mother.
I know it.
She's home now.
Hey, what's eating you guys?
I say.
Hi.
We're playing rummy.
Are you?
Yeah, me and Rush are playing rummy.
Rush has to go to the grocery store.
Rush has to go to the grocery store.
For God's sake, Gov, you talk
Jump
like
up and help your mother with her packages. Got packages, huh, kiddo?
Wash rags. Bought 3 dozen of them. Yams and cut the price right down to the bone. Never mind, Willie. I'll take 'em upstairs with me when I go.
We've been playing rummy.
Have you?
Yeah.
Warm as toast downtown, just like summer. Ruthie and I saw fellas running around in just their shirt sleeves. What's the matter?
Why?
You're grinning so foolish.
He's been acting peculiar ever since you got home.
Oh, say, did Miss Apparat telephone?
Not since I've been home.
Who was home first?
Gov.
She telephoned?
Oh, Miss Apparat? Yeah.
Did you explain I was downtown shopping?
No.
No, what? She didn't telephone?
Yes.
Oh, land.
Well, she didn't telephone.
Well, what'd you say yes for then?
Yes?
Yes, I asked if she telephoned. You said yes.
No.
No?
Yes.
Hey, what ails you?
I got something very, very funny to tell you.
What is it?
I got the best of Mr. Buller.
Is he in town?
Not now. Went back to Chicago on the 255.
By George, maybe he'll make the acquaintance of Smelly Clark's Uncle Strap. He went to Chicago on the 255 today.
How'd you get the best of him?
We made a bet and I won.
Vic, what you been up to?
Huh?
I never seen a person act so guilty in my life.
What do you mean, guilty?
Your father knock over my cut glass fig and apple platter?
Not that I know of.
Well, what have you done?
What's the idea of all this cross-questioning? I made a bet with Buller and won. It struck me funny.
Struck you awful funny.
Well, it did.
You have to go to the store, Willie.
Okay.
It did strike me awful funny.
I want potatoes. Can you carry a peck?
Sure.
Say, it did strike me awful funny.
When you feel like telling whatever it is you got up your sleeve, go right ahead.
I got nothing up my sleeve. All there is to it, Buller and I made this little wager, and he come through with a $5 hat. Struck me funny.
Hat?
Yeah, I bought me a hat to pay off the bet.
You bring it home with you?
Of course.
Where is it?
Hallway on the banister.
Go get it, Rush.
Oh.
I don't often get the best of Buller. He's an awful cagey old warthog. So it tickled me pink this afternoon when he come off with the dirty end of the stick.
It's a broad-brimmed hat, ain't it?
Why, let's see. Yes. Yes, I believe it is a broad-brimmed hat.
Bought at Kleberger's?
I think Buller did patronize Kleberger's.
Uh-huh.
What's the matter?
Why?
You're looking at me like I just stole a horse.
Hey, Mom, this is the kind of a hat you told Gov he couldn't wear. It's got a big broad brim.
I'd laughing to see Buller's face, kiddo. See, he hates to lose.
Let's see that once.
Certainly nice and new.
Genuine $5 dip. Notice the warp on it.
Warp?
Woof.
Whoop.
Well, warp or woof or nap or lap or finish or whatever you want to call it. I mean the surface. See what a nice sheen it's got?
Sheen?
You don't seem to be very sharp in the wits today, Toadstool. A real quality hat, wouldn't you say?
Vic, you don't think I'm a complete idiot, do you?
Huh?
You certainly couldn't have thought I'd be taken in by this.
Taken in by what?
Well, such a simple little business I never come across.
I haven't the slightest
Little
notion.
Charlie Husher, 3 years old, could see through it.
Well, whatever you're talking about is too much for me.
I have the scheme to bring home a broad-brimmed hat, thinking if you said you won it on a bet, Mom would let you keep it.
Is that what you think, Sade?
You appreciate what I think.
Is that really what you think?
Little Charlie Husher could see through it.
Well, that's the funniest thing I ever heard of in my life. Absolutely the funniest thing I ever heard of in my life.
It goes back.
Goes back?
Goes back. And after this, when you try to deceive a person, you'd better think up a smarter stunt. Me and Buller made a bet, and he had to buy me a broad-brimmed hat. Why didn't you say you found your broad-brimmed hat hanging on a tree? Or you saved a lady from drowning, and she give you a broad-brimmed hat to show her gratitude?
Sadie, you're making a pretty serious charge.
I'll say. Now listen, please get it in your head once and for all, you can't wear a broad-brimmed hat. Makes you look like a wild western cowboy that'd been stepped on by an elephant. Fred Stembottom told you that.
Since when did any of Fred Stembottom's half-witted opinions mean a snap of my little finger? Fred Stembottom...
Everybody's told you can't wear a hat with a wide brim.
Everybody? I believe there's a few stray souls in Detroit, Michigan, who as yet haven't informed me that I can't wear a
I
broad
told
brim.
you, Fred told you, Ruthie told you, Ike Niesupper told you, even the clerk in Kleberger's told you.
Since I'm the party who'll wear the hat, it's hardly the concern of Fred and Ruthie and Ike and the rest of them yaps.
Back to Kleeberger's.
No.
Yes.
Look, this hat amounts to practically a gift for Mr. Buller. You can't return a gift to the store and collect the money.
What you and Mr. Buller bet about?
Bet about?
Yes.
Bet about?
Why do you have to buy you a hat?
Because he lost.
Lost what?
Lost the bet.
Well, what'd you bet about?
Bet about?
Oh, my.
What my means, guys?
He bet he could tie his shoe faster.
Tie his shoe faster?
Faster than me.
Now, Vic, really?
He bet he could tie his shoe faster than I could, so we bet a hat, and I tied my shoe faster than he tied his shoe, and beat.
Where'd all this excitement take place?
In my office.
You were sitting in your office talking business?
Why?
Why? I'm asking you a question. You were sitting in your office talking business when this happened?
Yes.
You were sitting in your office talking business, and all of a sudden, out of a clear sky, Mr. Buller said he bet he could tie his shoe faster than you could tie yours?
Yes.
You actually expect me to believe that?
Well, doggone it, Sade.
Come on, Willie. We'll go out in the kitchen and make out a list of what I want from the store.
Doggone it, Sade. Now,
Do we have to keep on with this?
I demand...
The thing about it that bothers me is you think I'm so simple. Little 3-year-old Charlie Husher wouldn't have been fooled. Why, I knew you had something up your sleeve when I walked in the room. You acted guilty as the bullet that choked Billy Patterson. And then that talky-talk about 2 important businessmen sitting in their office discussing enormous big affairs, and one of them all of a sudden jumping up and hollering he bet he could tie his shoe real fast.
Did I say somebody jumped up and hollered?
Come on, Willie.
Did I say somebody jumped up and hollered?
Want to come out in the kitchen with us and talk about what it tastes good for supper?
No.
You want to stay in here?
No.
What do you want to do?
No.
I say, what do you want to do?
I said no. I said no, and I meant no.
Which concludes another brief interlude at the small house halfway up in the next block. And there we leave Crisco's Vic and Sade until the next time. And now, 5 more winners in Crisco's first contest. $100 winners. Mrs. Carl Heiser, Washington, D.C. Mrs. L.W. Williams, Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Mrs. C.E. Freelove, Binghamton, New York. $200 winners. Mrs. Marjorie Clary, Delhi, California. Mrs. Betty H. Harvey, Dover, New Hampshire. And don't forget to listen to Crisco's Vic and Sade the next time. This is Mel Allen speaking. Well, sir, it's late afternoon as our scene opens now. And here in the living room of the small house halfway up in the next block, we find all our friends assembled. Sade is seated on the Davenport sewing. Young Rush lounges in his father's easy chair. And Vic stands beside the library table, removing his overcoat, for he's just this moment arrived home from the office. Listen.
Did you glance through my Lodge magazine?
Your Lodge magazine? Oh, I haven't even seen it.
Didn't it come this afternoon?
Golly, I guess I never looked in the mailbox.
We must have come. Ike Niesuffer's come. They all get mailed together. Go see Dr. Sleech.
Okay. Say, while I think of it, you said I could have a dime if I...
Not along to the mailbox. I'll take up trivial business matters later.
It's not trivial to me. My financial condition is so horrible.
Kiddo, guess what?
They printed your picture?
They printed my picture. And not only my picture, but individual pictures of the entire membership of the All-Star Marching Team.
Oh?
The whole push. Won't it be interesting to see what the different guys look like?
I've seen some of them, you know.
That's right, you have. Robert and Slabbert Hink.
Robert and Slabbert Hink and YY Flirch.
Oh, sure.
And you, of course. I've seen you.
Well, I'm certainly anxious to look at the photographs. There's 5 members of the All-Star Marching Team I've never set eyes on.
Oh, you haven't seen the magazine yet?
No, Ike Niesuffer told me it arrived today. Mailman delivered his this morning. Of the roster of the All-Star Marching Team are the Sacred Stars of the Milky Way. I've met myself, of course. Y.Y. Flirch, J.J. Stunbolt, Robert and Slabbert Hink, and H.K. Fleeber. How many is that? 6? Yeah, 6. Well, only these 4 I haven't met. I said 5. I guess I counted myself as a guy I hadn't met. Well, let's see, who's left?
O.H. Jellyman.
O.X. Bellyman. Uh-huh. O.X. Bellyman of Detroit, Michigan, is 1. Homer U. McDancy of East Brain, Oregon's 2. And Harry Fye and I. Edson Box of Lesser, Nebraska round out the 4.
Here you are, Gun.
Okay. Let's see where we are here.
No other mail, was there?
Hey.
Find what you were hunting for?
Yep. Here, let me sit beside you on the Davenport, then we can both look.
I want to look, too.
Okay, then I'll get in the middle. Spot old Vic Gook, friends?
Yeah.
See Papa Market Basket?
Third picture down from the top.
I jumped right out at you, don't I?
Well, that's about as nice a photograph as you ever had taken. I always liked it. Ruthie likes it, too. The other day we were glancing over some...
What's number 4?
Where?
Here. It's not a man.
Oh, it's all blurred.
Yeah. I can see teeth and hair and eyes, but the face is all funny. Could be a kangaroo or a chipmunk.
Let's see, who is number 4?
I think the little paragraphs down below correspond with the numbers, and you can tell which is which by comparing.
I know, foolish. Oh, Homer U. McDancy.
Which one's he?
The Half-Wit magazine editors made a botch of his picture.
Resembles either a kangaroo or a chipmunk.
You may reserve your comments, Fly Sweater.
So that's Homer U. McDancy,
Sloppiness.
I'll say. Ooh, look at them starey big white eyes.
If I were Homer U. McDancy, I'd raise Cain about this. Let's see what the little biographical sketch says.
Who's the little boy there in the corner?
Yeah. I never knew you had kids on your marching team.
Homer U. McDancy, East Brain, Oregon. Sky Brother McDancy is not only an accomplished marcher, but an author as well. His latest work, a manual for wives of members of the lodge, is enjoying great current popularity. Mr. McDancy is engaged in the wholesale poultry business in East Brain and is widely respected for his civic leadership. Well, that's okay. But holy smoke, this horrible picture.
Who's the little boy?
Where?
In the corner there.
Number 10.
Oh, thunder. Well, maybe the biographical sketch will explain this nonsense. It says, Harry Fye. Sky Brother Harry Fye of Lester, Nebraska, is famous for his knowledge of plain and fancy parading. He has taken hikes 40 to 50 miles in length. A barber by trade, Mr. Fye is an enthusiastic ice skater and high diver. The photograph reproduced above was taken when Mr. Fye was a 4-year-old lad.
Well, that does explain it.
Sloppiness.
Number 7 is a bicycle.
Here's Robert and Slobbert Hink side by side. Why, I believe it's the same identical picture printed twice.
Number 8 is an old lady.
Dick, for Robert and Slobbert Hink, they got the same picture printed twice. You can't
Listen
tell
to
me.
what it says about old Vic Gook. Victor R. Gook, Sky Brother Gook, in addition to being an active live wire worker in the lodge, is an expert marcher and a profound authority on the science of parade procedure. Mr. Gook is the Exalted Big Dipper of our Drowsy Venus Chapter. He holds a responsible position with the Consolidated Kitchenware Company. We are proud of men like him. Well, they really laid it on.
Yeah, you got the longest paragraph on the page.
Twice as long as anybody else's.
Number 7 is a bicycle.
I want to know about Robert and Slobbert. You can't tell me these two pictures ain't the same identical picture printed twice. Why, a baby.
What a rotten little skimpy, stingy biographical sketch they give J.J. Stunbolt. Listen, J.J. Stunbolt. Sky Brother Stunbolt is a native of Lester, Nebraska. He hangs wallpaper.
That is short.
Editor must have it in for Stunbolt. Good picture of him, though.
He the bald-headed man with eyeglasses and thick black ribbon?
Number 7 is a bicycle.
Yeah, Vic, number 7's a bicycle. Look up number 7.
What kind of foolishness is this now?
Anybody that resembles a bicycle ought to be in the circus. I bet they get paid.
Bellyman.
That who number 7 is?
Yeah. Shucks.
What's it say about him?
O.X. Bellyman. Sky Brother Bellyman was born in Detroit, Michigan, and has lived there all his life. Marching is his one great hobby, and he can be seen almost any Saturday afternoon heading for California, New Mexico, or other southwesterly points.
He takes plenty long marches. I wouldn't want to march from Michigan to California.
Mr. Bellarmine is also an accomplished musician, being proficient on the flute, banjo, saw, and kettle drums.
At the end of the paragraph?
Yeah.
Well, don't it explain why they printed this picture of a bicycle?
No. Sloppiness.
Who's this old lady?
Yeah, who's she?
Edson Box.
She dressed up for a masquerade or something?
Edson Box. Sky Brother Box, like several other members of the All-Star Marching Team, resides in Lester, Nebraska. At the present time, he is enthusiastically looking forward to his marriage with Miss Gilly McDermott, the ceremony to take place early in the year 1948.
Is this old lady Miss Gilly McDermott?
No. Mr. Box, when solicited for his photograph, showed great modesty and reluctance, preferring to send a snapshot of his dear mother.
Oh, so that's the way of it.
Why, Flirch looks natural.
Yes, it does.
What's it say about him?
Why, Flirch. Sky Brother Flirch, another distinguished resident of Lester, Nebraska, loves marching better than anything on earth. He is also fond of asparagus, gravy, walnuts, and pie.
Pretty skimpy write-up. Look here, don't you think these two pictures of Robert and Slobbert Hink are one and the same picture?
Yeah.
I know they're twins and all, but they're not this much twins. Couldn't be this much twins. These two pictures are one and the same picture, and absolutely no mistake about it.
Sloppiness. Sloppiness all the way through.
You said a while ago you were especially anxious to look at these photographs because there were several men you'd never set eyes on, and you wanted to get an idea of their appearance.
Yeah, I did.
Well, who are the men you have seen?
Well, myself, of course. Robert and Slobbert Hink, J.J. Stunbolt, Y.Y. Flirch, and H.K. Fleabert.
6. Leaves 4 you haven't seen. And they're the ones you're especially interested in, ain't they?
Yeah.
What's their names?
Well, Homer U. McDancy.
He's all blurred.
Resembles a kangaroo or a chipmunk.
Can't get a very good notion of his appearance. Who else?
Edson Box.
He sent in a picture of his mother. Guess you'll have to remain in the dark about what Edson Box looks like. Now, who else?
Harry Fye.
This shows Harry Fye when he was 4 years old.
Yeah.
Who else?
O.X. Bellyman.
The only clue we got to what O.X. Bellyman looks like is this picture of a bicycle.
Sloppy.
I agree.
Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy.
Which concludes another brief interlude at the small house halfway up in the next block. The evening meal's been over only a little while as we enter the small house halfway up in the next block now. And here in the living room, we find Mr. and Mrs. Victor Gook, young Mr. Rush Gook, and Sade's amiable Uncle Fletcher. Uncle Fletcher's been a supper guest. He's speaking at the moment, and we hear him say,
There's no hurry about this, Sadie. We can talk about it any time it's convenient for you.
Right now, it's fine.
Oh, if you got something private to discuss, Uncle Fletcher, Stone Bruce here and myself will gladly retire to the kitchen, leave you guys alone.
Sure. Not at all, not at all. Stay where you are. I got this little bit of stuff to tell Sadie, and then you people can play cards or pop popcorn or whatever's on the docket.
I wouldn't mind a shot of popcorn after a while.
Popcorn is delicious.
Yeah.
I roomed with a fellow once in Belvedere that ate popcorn with a bushel. Half-wit to get up in the middle of the night and pop popcorn. One under the name of Morton. Albert Morton. Whatever become of him, I never did know. Some will tell you he went to St. Paul, Minnesota and married a Cunningham. Others will tell you he went to Pawnee, Illinois and married a Montgomery. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Sir Albert Morton. He certainly liked popcorn.
What was it you wanted to talk to me about, Uncle Fletcher?
Fine. No, you hear different stories about what become of Albert Morton. Take K.L. Slater, Joe Freakley, and Harry Greel there in Dixon. Well, all 3 of them swear up and down Albert Morton went to St. Paul, Minnesota and married a Cunningham. T.V. Adams, Jim Wade, and Walter Updegraff claim just the opposite.
Albert Morton went to Pawnee, Illinois, and married a Montgomery, they'll tell you. I don't know. Play a game of cards, Vic? All right. Play a game of cards, Sadie? Good?
Sure. You said you had something to talk to me about.
Albert Morton?
No, when we were getting up from the supper table, you said...
Sure. Well, hold up the card game a minute, Vic. Okay. My landlady, Mrs. Keller, Sadie.
Yes?
I might be butting into something that's none of my business. If I am, say so. But I had this idea and didn't see whether there'd be any harm in mentioning it to you. If I'm out of order, speak up.
Well, what about Miss Keller?
Could she join your thimble club?
Why, I don't see why not.
If I've opened my mouth and put my foot in it, say the word.
Not at all.
She's never said anything about the thimble club. It's my notion. I've been playing with the idea.
Right. Why, sure. I'll invite her the very next time we meet in my house here.
Half-wit woman don't get acquainted easy, see? Been in town all this time and only knows about 6 people. Of course, she's got her married daughter she visits, and the ladies around the neighborhood come calling once in a while, but she's not into swimmer stuff like she was in Dixon, and it makes her peevish. Remember now, she's never mentioned any of this to me. Well, I just thought, here's my niece, Sadie, president of the Thimble Club, where ladies sit and sew and talk. Mrs. Keller takes to that like a duck takes to water.
Uncle Fletcher, I think that's just awful sweet of you.
Yes, it is. No, now, if I'm sticking my neck out, you just chop it off.
Sweet as it can be. The very next time the Thimble Club meets here, I'll make it a special point to see that Mrs. Keller is expressly invited.
Fine. Got an application blank handy, Rush?
Application blank?
I'll take it home and have Miss Keller fill it out.
Oh, we don't have application blanks.
Fine. Name, age, weight, color, all that junk. As far as that goes, I can fill it out myself. Mrs. Keller's 56, weighs 165. Got an application blank in your pocket, Vic?
No, I haven't. I generally carry a few, but you've cut me short.
Nice of you to do this, Sadie.
Golly, no. You're the nice one.
Yes, I am.
I should have invited Miss Keller before.
Oh, that's right.
Don't know why I never thought of it.
She sits, Miss Keller does. She sews. She talks. Thimble Club's just what she needs. Joys being in the swim. No, the idea hit me just the other night. Here I've got this niece of mine, Sadie. Sadie's boss of this thimble outfit. Why not put a bug in Sadie's ear?
Well, I'm glad you did.
You say you got an application blank in your pocket, Vic?
I'm afraid I left all my application blanks in my other pen.
Fine. Sadie, don't ever let on to her I put this bug in your ear.
Oh, I won't.
She'd skin me alive.
Yeah. Oh, no, I won't let on. And I want to say again, I think you're just awful sweet to talk to me about this.
Yes, I am. No, she's lonesome. Membership in the Thimble Club is just what the doctor ordered. Cards, Vic?
Got them all shuffled, ready to deal.
Cards, Rush? Sure. Sadie?
Well, you boys go ahead and play. I got this pile of socks to darn.
Uncle Fletcher, Mr. Lumpax was telling me you and him...
Say, the application blank.
Application blank won't be necessary, Uncle Fletcher.
Mrs. Keller will weigh 165. She's 56 years old. Gray hair.
There's nothing to fill out to join the Thimble Club.
She'll be willing to fill it out.
All right.
I'll fix him an application blank. You can draw one up in 2 minutes.
No.
Sure. Miss Keller's no better than anybody else. Just because you're my niece is no reason for showing her any special favors. Where's that application blank? I'll fill out the son of a gun.
Step to the bookcase and frame one, Oscar.
Okay.
Application blank. To come visit the Thimble Club.
He insists on it, don't he?
Sure. No, my landlady can go through what everybody else has to go through. She's neither sugar nor salt. Won't hurt her to sign an application blank. I'll deal, Vic.
Okay.
18 apiece, huh?
Or 7 apiece. Are you in, Kettledrum?
Leave me out this hand. I'm fixing up an application blank.
Just us two, I guess.
Fine. Somebody suggest popping some popcorn after a while?
Well, you did.
Popcorn hits the spot along about the middle of the evening. I got the habit off in Albert Morton and Belvedere. We bunked together all one winter. He ate popcorn by the bushel. Get up at night and pop yourself a batch of popcorn.
Oh, that's enough ticket.
Fine. Wonder what did become Albert Morton. Some people tell you one thing, some people tell you the other thing. J.G. Hess up on his farm there outside of Sterling used to claim Albert Morton went to Findlay, Ohio and married a Williams. That I know isn't true. He may have gone to St. Paul, Minnesota and married a Cunningham like K.L. Sleater, Joe Frickley, and Harry Green will claim. He may have gone to Pawnee, Illinois and married a Montgomery like T.V. Adams, Jim Wade, and Walter Updegraff claim. But one thing I'm sure of. He never went to Findlay, Ohio and married a Williamson like J.G. Hess claimed. Never.